Good evening. Who supports you when you go to get your facial reconstruction surgery, but then throws you off the bridge when you fail to repay the loan? It's us, the ASTV Tinapa Thursday night crew for American Scouts for TV. We're joined by Brian and Sir Z this week as a super sub for Trevor. Sir Z, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you guys?
We're not too bad. It's Thursday. We're always good on Thursday. And we have, I'm not sure whether it's Brian or whether it's Sean Dyche as a special guest. But Brian, how are you? How's the throat feeling?
Oh, it's getting better. I think everybody was happy for the past couple of days at work and at home right there because I couldn't talk. So I'm just going to go there and run my mouth a little bit more just to go there and to entertain everybody.
I'm pretty sure the Everton players feel the same each week. Maybe this week his throat will break. So we're going to keep it simple tonight. Here's all we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Sparta game today, and we're going to talk about the title 6-pointer on the weekend, and that's it. That's the show, because as far as Liverpool are concerned right now, boys, I think that's all that matters. The game you just did today and the game that's ahead, because it's super important. But let us start with the original the Europa League game. I'm hoping, Suzy, that you saw the full thing, because me and Brian just saw the highlights. Yeah. Fantastic. So what were your thoughts on the full game? And before you get into it, I have one question, because it just didn't seem obvious from the highlights. Was Gakpo as invisible for most of the game as he seemed?
Pretty much. I didn't really notice until he went off. So, yeah, unfortunately, pretty much playing with 10 men. But no, the game, I mean, the score definitely flattered to deceive. Obviously, you know, if we didn't watch the game and think, 5-1, wow, you know, we trounced them. But Keller, I mean, what a keeper! Like, you know, I said a few weeks ago, you could get into any one of them top 6 clubs. I was kind of laughed at, but I don't see a better keeper than him right now.
You didn't get laughed at by me. I want him to be Ireland's number 1.
Yeah, I think Conor Bradley had a pissing contest like the Northern Irish against the Republic of Ireland. Like, he can score past him. Like, he's just phenomenal. I don't, even if Alisson wasn't injured right now, he came back next week. I don't see how we dislodge Kelleher right now. He's just he's saved us. He saved us from a lot of, like, conceding a lot of goals today, and it took our own to score past him. But yeah, he definitely kept us in the game for sure. Endo and Macka, wow, you know, Macca's has gone up like notches, and so has Endo. They really are, like I've said it before, they're like Vieira and Petit back in the day. I just can't get past them, and the creativity. I can't. McAllister's just like, I mean, if Alonso does take over next season, he's pretty much got a mini-me version in there where he can control in that midfield. His vision and calmness is just unbelievable, and you know, Nunes just does his thing. And it's funny. I was saying to my friends back in London, like, these are what champions do when you got players that lose form or drop out, like, you know, Jota or Gakpo, or, you know, Salah, Alisson, whoever. We've got others to step up. And Elliot, I don't know what he's been eating or drinking, that the kid just keeps going.
It's 3 shredded wheat a day, Suzy. 3 shredded wheat per day.
And he doesn't even look tired. He looks like he can still keep going and probably play another 90 minutes against Manchester City. It's all the good players that come good. Like, Nunes has come good at the right time. Diaz is coming good at the right time. Our midfield good at the right time. Keeper good at the right time. We're going to take some stopping, I think.
Brian, it's amazing what you can do when you put a number 6 in the number 6 spot and play a number 8 as a number 8 instead of a number 6 there in the midfield, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think we've discovered this what our strongest midfield is over the past couple of matches, and go through there. It's become very important to us. I mean, of holding up that the breaking up play, and go there restarting play, and Macka right there definitely is not a number 6, and I hope we never see him get pushed back into that position ever again. And I think that with either a mixture of Jones, Elliott, or Slabozai coming there and wrapping up that other last spot right there. I think we've got a pretty good, a pretty strong central midfield. And I think that, that's something we can definitely build off of. But I definitely think I see, coming to the future right there, even for the next couple of matches with with a healthy Slabozai and Macka and Endo, that's our midfield. I mean, easily our
Rendered your speech just there for a second, Brian. That was that midfield. So,
oh, yeah. So I was the same. Yeah, that's definitely our midfield going forward right there at the moment, right there. Until we can, until the international break right there when Jones comes back. I mean, that would be your other contention through there. But I think that with Macca's form right now, there's no way you can take him out of that spot.
So Z, our bugbear on the Thursday night show. Admittedly so, because we actually like the guy a lot and we want him to do well. But Darwin Núñez displayed everything we've talked about on this Thursday night show, because both of those goals, I have to say, were Van Basten-esque almost, especially that second one. He twisted his body so far inside out. He could have been a pretzel. He just needed some salt on the top of him, and then you could sell him in Brooklyn. That's what he does, though, isn't he? He's just a fantastic goal scorer. He reminds me a lot of Stan Collymore. Stan Collymore didn't do an awful lot of tap-ins.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But if you needed out of nowhere, where the hell did that come from goal? He was there for it. And this almost reminds me of what we could have got with Stan Collymore without all the mental stuff that Stan Collymore was going at the time. But that's what we want from Núñez, isn't it? We don't want him always to try to take players on 1v1. We want them to stand outside the box and go, I'm going to just ping this off my little toe into the top corner. And there's nothing you guys can do about it. But it's wonderful to have that, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely the first shot. If you look at it again, he only looked at that goal once. He looked up at the goal once, and once he got that ball, he didn't look back up at that goal again. He just shot that. He knew where that ball was going. And he's playing with a lot of confidence and like he's enjoying the game now. And yeah, he steps up. We lost Jota. That's good amount of goals that we lost. And Núñez is finally stepping up and showing the play he can be. And potentially, it's scary. I mean, if he can keep scoring, he could be like the original Ronaldo. That's my personal opinion. He's got the pace, the strength. He just needs to not miss open goals, but even Haaland misses the open goals, I guess. But yeah, he's phenomenal. And he just offers something that none of the other Liverpool players offer. It's just chaos. It's just the only word to describe him.
Brian, Robertson is the captain. I thought it was a good sight to see when I saw him walking out with the captain's armband. But you could see him cajoling all the players, especially after the goals, keeping their heads in the game. It's hard. It's easy to forget sometimes. He's actually getting on. He looks like he's 22. He probably will look like he's 22 when he's 65, going into the night, pulling the young ladies from college. But it's just so good to have that kind of senior leadership, regardless of who's in or out of the team, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just to think about the people that we have on our side, our captains, so there's other national sides. I mean, between Slabozai, Van Dijk, Robertson, I mean, that's three right there. The three captains that you have that they're mixed into our sides. So I mean, it's fantastic to have it. Oh, and Endo, forgot about Endo right there for Japan. So I mean, so all these guys with their, that's plus with these younger kids coming up. I mean, they're easily to go there and put them underneath their arms and say, hey, this is what I did when I was your age, and it's like kind of guide them through there. But yeah, I mean, Robertson's getting older right there, I mean, but sometimes with the sometimes players reinvent themselves when they get to that point. I mean, you might not see this bombing Robertson that we saw a couple seasons ago, but I think that, that could change the way he plays by drawing him in to be a more defensive player, where you actually have a bombing Connor Bradley or something like that on the other side right there, who you could compensate for. So, I mean, I think that's it's a good thing.
So Z, the only, apart from the Bradley own goal, which is a great own goal, that was Nunes-esque almost. If he scored that up the other end, we'd be talking about that for weeks and weeks and weeks. But the only downside was Konate coming off injured. I haven't seen anything yet that indicates any sort of seriousness. Do you think it was probably a precaution with the game that's coming up the weekend?
I don't know. I think Gomez was definitely a precaution. I think Konate, like Klopp's initial interview, he didn't seem too sure. Like, I don't think he plays on Sunday. Saying that, we still got Gomez and Kwanzaa. I've said it before. I don't think he's made any huge mistakes that's cost us any games or any embarrassing moments. Obviously it's not perfect, but if Konate plays, great. If he doesn't, I think we've got enough cover for him as long as Gomez isn't injured. And obviously Van Dijk and Kwanzaa haven't picked up knocks. But yeah, hopefully he's fit. But we keep proving everyone wrong, and every time we get an injury crisis, we still come out on top. But just going back to what you're saying about the leadership, that's what separates us from teams like Manchester United and Spurs and everyone. We just have a team full of leaders. Just from keeper to we missed out Salah, he's the captain of Egypt. We've got leaders all over the park, and that's what separates us from everyone else, apart from City, who kind of up there as well.
Brian, Diaz, Suzy said earlier, he's hitting form at the right time. But more importantly, it seemed to me watching that game, he looks like he's enjoying football again. All the stresses and strains of the earlier part of the year are gone. We've got all those great social media photographs of his dad, like dressed in full Liverpool kit, getting hugged by Klopp. And obviously everybody knows that a hug from Klopp is just as good as going on a pilgrimage to Lourdes. Like, it cures everything. But he looks like he's enjoying it. He looks like he's enjoying linking up with Nunes. It bodes well for the rest of the season, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And again, right there, he's getting a good running matches too. Also, I mean, where earlier in the season, it was kind of stop-start a little bit toward the beginning, right there, where he had a couple of matches where he was off, where Klopp was trying to experiment and see where exactly he could go there and put everybody at. I mean, at one point right there, we had Darwin on that side. I mean, we had Gapco in the middle. I mean, we're running with different formations and all that. Diaz basically right now has got that nod on that right hand side, the left hand side, and that's his. He owns it. I mean, so it's that that makes you feel a lot more comfortable. I mean, on it. I mean, enough to know that that you are going to that you're going to make a difference. Again, like that, his pace is something that really is just amazing. I mean, and also the one thing I've noticed is that him and Robertson right there over the past couple of weeks have started communicating a lot better on the ball. I mean, that was one of the complaints I had a couple of, like a month or two ago. Like, that was, that they seemed like they weren't on the same page. Like that, you can watch that Robertson was making runs, and Diaz was going there and stalling on the run. And, it was kind of like a topsy-turvy kind of weird feeling thing. And, I think that we don't have that anymore. I think that you're seeing that they are synced up right there. I mean, not as much as we saw with Mane and Robertson right there, but I still think that you have a lot more of a thought process right there of how to attack on that left-hand side.
Do you think that's because with the language barrier and all that maybe Diaz has finally learned to speak Scottish?
He definitely seems like he's enjoying the game a lot more. I mean, if you saw him against Forest, he was playing on the right side. It was just playing like a kid without any rules. Yeah. Diaz was, and with Macka and Nunes, with South American contingency, like it helps. Definitely.
Suzy, you alluded to the fact that it wasn't an easy game despite the scoreline, but I think there were examples where Sparta could be dangerous, and had we been less than 100% focused, it could have been a bad game for us. But 5-1 away and scoring all 6 goals in that 5-1 away, that's a very good result to take back to Anfield, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it should be 7. I don't know why Salah's goal was disallowed.
Yeah, we don't know that one either.
Sense to me. But no, I mean, it allows us to play the kids, I guess. And as much as Klopp is gonna, all the sound bites are gonna be no, the tie's still not over, or the tie is over. I mean, if they come back and win, then we have no business winning the Europa. But it allows us to play the kids again and get ready for Man United in the FA Cup. But yeah, that's the best result we can get, and hopefully not too many injuries. But that's a great result to take back to Anfield.
Brian, looking at the other results tonight, Bayer Leverkusen, a creditable 2-2 draw. Not too nice away goals in old money, as I would say, just there, literally 5 seconds ago. But Roma seemed to be the more dominant one out of all. I'm having sort of hot flushes for a Roma Liverpool final. But going just by the first leg scores, we should really be the overall favourites, even more so now, shouldn't we?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that we're definitely the favorites at the moment. I mean, I think that that Brighton just got swept away. I mean, that wasn't even a match right there. Then you look on there, that Villa's already is down 1-0. I think in their tie also. So I think that and then Rangers. I mean, Fenerbahce right there. They're 2-2. So I think we definitely. There are the clear favorites. I think Roma definitely right behind it, and then probably Leverkusen if they could get past that tie. But I think that the road to Dublin is looking a lot brighter.
I'm not sure I'd say that now, Brian, because I'm from Dublin and it's always grey. And it's definitely never bright.
I was waiting for you to say something.
But seriously, let's kind of look a little bit ahead. Bayer Leverkusen, it's a good result for them. The dream for everybody is for Bayer Leverkusen, Liverpool to meet in the final, and then we can see who the prospective next manager is. But I'm always with Trevor and Cozzy on this. I want the path of least resistance. If we assume we're not going to collapse in the next round, or in the next leg rather, which team would you like to get out of Bayer Leverkusen and Roma in the next round? If we ended up getting one of them, I mean.
Leverkusen. I don't like Roma. I don't like going into Italy. I think one of the reasons Brighton lost today is because of all the shithousery that went outside the stadium with fans getting stabbed, and Brighton they're not used to the intensity of European games. And that's fans outside the stadium and inside. We're used to it, being there, done that, and we know what Italian fans are like, and kids being held over a head of hassle and everything else. But Italian fans, they just keep getting away with it. Look what they did to Sean Cox when they played us. So yeah, I definitely want to avoid Roma. I don't want to go out to Italy. Unless if you're going to play Roma, let's play them in the final, and where we don't have to be on their home turf. So out of the two, if I had to pick one for the next round, then it'll be Leverkusen.
I will say though, if we do end up getting to the final and meeting Roma, the Irish police do not mess around with the old hooliganism. So,
I know Liverpool fans, so we should be fine.
And they're all Liverpool fans. Brian, there's nothing to complain about really from this game, and we can't dissect anything from it. What would you say was the biggest plus coming out of this game outside of the score? Was it Núñez, getting on the score sheet before this vital game the weekend, Salah coming on and playing and getting a goal that should have been allowed, but also as I think I said before we went on air, doing that full-on sprint and laughing afterwards, so clearly no ill effects? Or was it maybe Kelleher yet again cementing himself as one of those top keepers in the Premier League, and so somebody we can trust coming into this game against City?
I think you go with both of those, and also I think you go with with the Szoboszlai that was healthy also, because I think that's something that we're definitely need to have a healthy midfield to go against City. A healthy Mo, a solid Kelleher, and a good solid midfield showing. I mean that's the right recipe for us on Sunday is had to go into that match.
Let's look ahead now with the nice little segue into the City game. It's a game full of trepidation. It's a game where both teams are going to have to be on their absolute best to come out on top. But let me see if you agree with me here. If you can nullify De Bruyne and Haaland in that City team, you've essentially nullified that City team. Maybe Kyle Walker again, because he's a bit sly in his little dangerous runs sometimes.
Yeah.
But do you think, or would you agree that City have more to worry about with our players individually than we have with theirs?
Yeah, definitely, and especially if we can get at least half our bench back. But I think the biggest difference on Sunday will be our supporters. It's the last club game against City at Anfield. We're coming off 100% record in February. It's going to be so intense for City, and I just don't think the players will be ready for it. I don't think they'll be ready for the crowd. I think we'll see a different aspect of the crowd on Sunday. And I think that'll make the biggest difference to City. And just having that support behind us is, yeah.
Brian, there's all those YouTube clips of all the managers talking about Anfield and how special it is, especially on big game nights. Mourinho, even Ferguson had to admit, like, there's no worse place to go than Anfield in full roar. The 12th man, as I'm sure we'll call the Anfield fans in the stadium, is going to be vital. Both teams know each other inside out. Where is the difference maker going to come from Liverpool to win this game?
As I said before, it's going to be the midfield. I mean, I think that we have to go out there and shut Rodri down. Rodri is their key.
Yeah.
I've been saying. I mean, I think we've all kind of mentioned that Rodri is their best player on their pitch at the moment, and I think that without Rodri, you have no Phil Foden getting in there also. So I think you have to go there and look at that. I mean, and shutting Rodri's play down to get to Phil Foden right there. I mean, I think Haaland right there, if he doesn't have service, he gets frustrated. And I think that's the one thing that we can get underneath his skin really well. And I think that Verge is right now playing that like the best, some of the best of his career. And I think that we can shut down that aspect of them. My concern right there is that midfield. I mean, I think that we have to go out there and win the midfield battle against them. I don't care about Kyle Walker. I mean, Kyle Walker to me right there, makes runs. I mean, Sterling did him in a couple weeks ago. I mean, I think that's not even. I think that Diaz could do the same. So, I mean, as long as we can go out there and get Rodri out of the play, I think that we basically have a very solid chance. De Bruyne is going to be De Bruyne. Just make sure we just don't get stupid free kicks away. I mean, and that's his major weapon right against him. I mean, he's a slower pace now, but he'll kill you with these free kicks. And so, we have to go out there and make sure that we play smart. I mean, and so I mean, I think that I think it's a 50-50 chance on both sides. And it's like I was saying, like on Monday, I think both sides would not mind seeing a draw out of this. And I really don't think that anybody really wants to go out there and go at this as they just don't want to lose. I think that, if a point or 3 points is great for either side.
So Z, watching the United City game on Sunday within the watch along, it struck me that at least in the first half, if United hadn't have put their tail between their legs before the kickoff even started and shocked themselves at getting that opening goal and then went right into their shell, City were there for the taking. Yeah. We are a team under Klopp that shows no fear and essentially no respect to anybody who comes to Anfield. Do City have more to worry about than us in that respect? Because they look like at times a Brendan Rodgers team in the sense of just tappy, let's keep that ball, and we're happy to do that. But they were able to do it because, we're like, you keep the ball. We don't know what it looks like. We don't do anything in training on Monday to Friday. You have it. Whereas we're going to be snapping at the heels like a Jack Russell. I hate being overconfident in these games, and especially as my dad's a City fan. But I have a feeling this could be a good shellacking if we put our nose to the grindstone. But am I a delusional idiot?
No,
that's connected to that. Not just in general. Yes.
I know they didn't have KDB at the MC had when we played them, but and we had Tsimikas on the left, and he kept Walker quiet. But we also don't have Trent playing, and so Szoboszlai, he made a few mistakes because he was trying to cover Trent. We don't have that. I have more confidence in Bradley playing right back than Trent. So as Brian was saying, like that midfield is key. If you can just keep Rodri quiet, I think Bradley can take Foden on the right. And we still, even if Foden plays on the left, we still got Robertson. He's getting back up there. That midfield is key. We just got to keep Rodri and De Bruyne quiet. And if you keep them quiet, Haaland, he's not like Nunes. He can't make his own goals. He's very, Gary Lineker, Harry Kane, old Harry Kane wise, he needs a service. You can just cut that service out to him. We really could. It'd be like, when we beat them 3-1, like the season that we won the league. I think it's going to be a goal fest, or it can be a goal fest. Hopefully in our favour, obviously.
Brian, the key thing for me, I think, is the confidence that Darwin Núñez has, and that little. It seemed, I think we may have mentioned it early in the season, that comparison with Haaland almost seemed to get into his head at times. But now he's Darwin Núñez, superstar. He's enjoying his football. He knows what he needs to do now. And I think he looks way more effective than Haaland does. I think Sergi is perfectly correct. If Haaland has no service, Haaland is a pair of boots on the field. You may as well put the corner flags there. We all want Salah to be fit. We all know the threat he brings, and he is one of our greatest goal scorers. But if he is on the field and they're focusing too much on Salah, does this mean I will finally, on a Thursday night, predict a Darwin Núñez hat-trick?
Ooh. Well, you figure right there that Aki is probably gonna start, and he's gonna be basically all over Salah like he was in the first match. I mean, so that's definitely gonna open up Núñez. I mean, to go through to make those runs, and plus same thing with Diaz. I mean, on the same thing. But one thing to go back with he was talking about too right there was they don't have it. They've lost speed on one side right there because Doku is out and then Grealish is also out. So that's a lot of pace missing on that side. I mean, or for a side that really isn't that fast anyway. So I mean, it's we could blow them away by speed at the moment. I mean, and that's the one thing that that could be very dangerous right there with us versus them. It's going to be an interesting tactical match right there with it. And I think that, that it is a match right there, as far as like Núñez goes. Well, I mean, you can see him get a brace out of this match easily right there. You can see Diaz go there and get a brace. I mean, I think there's going to be so much attention made on Mo that I think that you're going to leave a lot of opening gaps right there for players to go in there to make runs. I mean, you can see Macka go in there and get a goal or two out of this. It's a way to go in there to figure out how they're going to be able to cover all our speed at the same time and nullify our attack. I think really the shoes on their foot right there to stop us. I mean, honestly, at the moment, I think that that they know they're stoppable because I mean we've watched matches where they just basically get shut down. Chelsea basically shut them down. I mean, so I mean it's doable. I mean, the thing is with there is, I mean, like you were talking about Man United, they that's such a hollow side. I mean, that they after that goal right there I mean, what a fantastic strike right there. They just didn't do anything. They just
Yeah,
went back in and just tapped the ball back and forth, and like they were scared of City. They just wanted to go draw back. And I mean, I think that I think a match like that right there basically cost Ten Hag his job. I mean, in the long run, because I don't think that side has any confidence. And I think that and I think that we're full of confidence because you know what, Klopp's gone. He's leaving right there. I mean, he doesn't have to play for a job. We don't have to go. We have to play. We have to play for him to leave in the best way he can possibly leave. And and so you know what, we're side that's full and glaring full of confidence, ready to roll. And I think that that's fearsome. That's very, very fearsome to most of these sides.
So, Z, you correctly pointed out the midfield will be a vital part of this game. How important is my man Endo going to be in that sixth spot? Because he's not just a 31-year-old who's having a decent patch of form at Liverpool in what might be the last move to a big club he ever makes at any level. He's bloody well vital to how that midfield's working right now, isn't he? I mean, he really is the brick wall that we needed for so long in the first half of the season, and he just suddenly blossoms into this, almost like a computer game. Number 6, you set all the levels up to 100, and just nothing gets by him.
Yeah, what I love about Endo is he's not an emotional player. He'll get professional bookings. I just love the guy. He'll take a booking, a tactical booking, just to break them up. He's not emotional. He's so intelligent, and Macka's another intelligent one, and both of them are just they complement each other so well. And God forbid if Endo does get injured, at least Gomez, he's shown that he can step up as well. But no, Endo and Macka are absolutely, they're 100% key to the game on Sunday. I think John Stones is injured. And I mean he's done more in midfield. I think Stones is injured. And with Nunes, I know his emotions get the better of him sometimes, but after his running with Pep in the last game, I think he's got a point to prove, and I think he'll use that to his advantage. But yeah, Endo and Macka, the intelligence, just the vision, and just taking professional bookings or tactical bookings when they need to is, definitely the best midfield up there. Along with Rodri and KDB, I guess.
Brian, Andrew Watkins there says refereeing is going to be so key on Sunday. I mean, it's key in general, but I believe
it's Michael Oliver.
It's Michael Oliver, yeah. He's generally, I always found him to be a good ref. If he's crap for both teams. If he's good for both teams. But is it going to come down to decisions if it's a tight game that go one way and not the other? And are we going to get another operatic performance from Pep on the sideline?
But these officials are so scrutinized right now. I think they're kind of scared right there about making poor decisions. I mean, with it, I obviously saw like what happened against Forest. I mean, okay, with this thing that we had to listen to all week about the drop, about the balls getting back to the keepers. I think that these officials are scared right now. I mean, if you make a bad call, I mean, that could go through mean you're getting knocked down to the championship or the league, or League One or League Two right there for a couple of weeks right there on making a controversial call. So I think it's going to be very cautionary, throughout this whole match. Honestly, in my opinion, I like to see a free flowing match. I want to see us play. I don't want to see stop-start shit right there, that we've seen in a lot of these matches right there. I mean, over the past couple of years, I don't want to see any rash decision making in this right there. I want to see the actual tactics. I want to see it play out. And to me right there, unless it's something like a drastic foul, let these guys play. I mean, let's see let's see how it rolls. I mean, and I think that's what we need. That I want to see officiating. I mean, it makes me almost the point right there where I turned against VAR in a lot of ways right there, because we've lost the ability for a match to actually keep on free playing, because it always draws back. Okay, the AR's got to check this right there, and because some guy decided to put his arm up right here, and it's all of a sudden, well, it's a handball. It's not 4 or 5 minutes later, and it's like, okay, the match is the entire flow of the match is gone. I mean, I don't want to see that. I just want to see a solid, free flowing match with minimal calls.
So Z, just I don't want to blacken your soul and dirty your mind, but imagine you are the city coach or the city scout. Let's say Konate's fit. There's nothing wrong with him. It's just a precaution. I think I read a quote was saying that he decided he wanted to come off because he didn't think he could have another sprint in him or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's good to go. Kelleher's in goal. Bradley's on right back. Robertson's left back. Van Dijk and Konate at the back. Endo, Szoboszlai, and McAllister in midfield. Nunes up front. Salah on the right. Diaz on the left. Who are you going to pinpoint as the weak link in that team as the City scout?
The referee, bribe him.
Because I was going to say, I'm saying that out loud, and I'm like, who's going to be the weak link?
There isn't. I mean, any scout that's worth their penny will see. But you don't go 100% winning games where we are with the threadbare squad that we have if we didn't have any nous about us. So, you look at Kelleher, he, just everywhere. Gakpo's been our weakest player. Really. Even our youngsters have just, you got players like Dans that have contributed more than Gakpo. So I really don't see where we have a weakness.
Brian, I mean, I'm finding it hard look because I would think in the old school way they might target Bradley because he's the youngest player, but he's shown himself number one to have a lot of steel about his game. Yeah. And number two, he's not going to take any crap from anybody. He's from Northern Ireland. We know from our own Jamie. They're a good, strong nation of people who don't suffer fools gladly. Endo he's the quiet assassin, really. He's the smartest player on the team sometimes. McAllister is just unflappable. Szoboszlai is unflappable as long as his hair isn't out of place. I'm getting a bit jealous of his hair sometimes. And then the front three are the front three. I mean, it must be, if you're Pep Guardiola, you must be looking to, the cheating arts almost to try and get ahead of Liverpool there. Do you see a weak link there, or is the weak link maybe going to come from the bench?
Honestly, I think what we're going to do is we're going to have drawing tactical fouls. I think that's going to be what a City game plan right there to try to get some of these people to get us our formation changed, our game plan changed by drawing us into silly fouls that wind up getting cards. I mean, and to do it, if you go there and get Endo into a situation right there, or if you get Verge into a situation where they're carded, that changes our entire game plan right there. Changes the aggression level that we're going to play. So, I mean, by doing that right there, I mean, you have to go there and think that's the only way that they're going to be able to draw us out. And then when you go off to look at the bench right there, okay, what do we have on the bench? I mean, honestly, at the moment, you'll probably have Elliott will be on the bench more likely in this match. And then you'll probably have Clark will be on the bench, McConnell. I mean, so you're looking at some inexperience on the bench. I mean, but if you go there and get us into a point where we have to pull somebody out of there, then that opens them up right there to attack a younger player like a Clark or a McConnell or a Dans or somebody like that, to play. I mean, honestly, I think that our the way that we can actually go back and nullify that is if Konate is healthy, is that we saw Gomez can play back in that as that holding midfielder. I mean, in a pitch, and I think that that is the one thing that we have to look back as. I think again, Gomez on the bench right there could be a very vital player to us in this match. I mean, about if we're drawing into a fouling match, or just where they're going to come in and try to slow us down that way. So hopefully it doesn't happen right there. I think that, again, like I think we have enough pace to get through this match. The problem is right there is how City's going to nullify our pace.
Suzy, in the occasion is not just monumental because of the league table situation. It is the last Klopp versus Guardiola league game as Liverpool and City managers, unless there's some sort of shocking change of mind, change of heart thing. But I think there's more chance of me sprouting hair in the next 10 seconds than that happening. But does this make the occasion a bit more emotional for us supporters? I'm sure the players are going to be even keeled the entire time until maybe after the game. But for us supporters, does that make it a little bit extra? Because we don't know who our next manager is going to be, and it could be somebody who's totally in awe of Pep Guardiola, and if he's there next year as well. And then, who knows what happens then. But for this one, he has shown no fear and nothing but respect for Pep Guardiola, but he's also been able to, poke him in the eye in the soccer sense several times. So it's almost like this is the real deal now. This is the real end of the era time, isn't it?
100%. And it's going to be emotional, but I think that goes for us with the fans. I don't think Klopp needs to say that we need the fans on Sunday. The fans are just going to turn up, and even Pepper said, it's the Anfield fans are just, there's nothing comparable to them. And he's worried. He worries about our pace up front. If you remember his documentary, and he's worried about Salah, Firmino, and Mane. We've got Nunes, Diaz, and Salah now. Still, it's the only other player I worry about from City is Silva, because he does draw a lot of tactical fouls, and he is a proper shithouse. I hate him. He's a great player, but he's a narky freaking. So I worry about him as well. If he has a good game, we really need to watch out. But I think what our strength is that we've got players that go under the radar, like Bradley and Endo, goalkeeper. If Kwanzaa plays, like we have players that go under the radar, and these players, I think they'll underestimate how good these players are, and I think that's our strength.
Brian, he has been the City man of the moment for a game and a half or something like that. But is Phil Foden going to be a factor to destroy our dreams in this game, or is he just having a purple patch of good form and we're going to be ready for him?
Phil Foden is like a toothpick going underneath my fingernails right there. I've never been. One of these players. He's probably the most annoying player on that City side, in my opinion. I respect him, but I dislike him so much right there, just because of how he plays. I hope that Phil Foden has the worst match possible against us. I think that it goes back to Rodri again right there. Rodri right there is the key. When you shut down Rodri, you shut down Foden. And you shut down that whole entire program right there. So again, midfield wins this match right there. So I think if we control and get their midfield straight, I don't think we have to worry about Phil Foden. He can just go do whatever he does at Manchester City life or whatever the hell he does like that, and just move on from here.
Suzy, tell me your score prediction for this game, and then who will be the standout player for Liverpool?
I'll say 3-1. I think our standout player will be. I'll say McAllister. Even McAllister or Salah.
Brian, score prediction and standout player.
As much as I want this match to be a free-flowing match, it's not going to be a free-flowing match. I would say that this match is going to wind up being a 1-1, 2-2 type of match right there. And I think that I think that McAllister is going to be the player that like sort of sees and right there. It's going to take notice right there. But I just think that both these teams right there are so steadfast about not wanting to lose. That a draw or a win is almost like a victory to them right there. Again, City have Arsenal to play the following match. So I mean, it's for them right there. there. This is almost damage mitigation at the same time right there. If they get a draw out of this right there, all you do is go back in and slam Arsenal. And then after that, the rest of your schedule is not heavy. I mean, they've got a lot of easier matches right there in the long run than us. So, I mean, a draw is a win is okay with them right there. And I really honestly think that we just have to match whatever City does right there throughout the rest of this league. So, I mean, so again, it doesn't hurt either side to draw. And I think that a draw may be what's going to wind up happening on Sunday.
I'm going to say 5-1 Liverpool, and damn it, I'm getting my Darwin Núñez hat trick this week. That's my prediction. But before we go, let's throw a random threshold question in because we have a special guest here today with Sir Z. Here's the question: if it was possible to keep Klopp for 3 more years, but we have to lose this game by 3 goals, would you take it, Sir Z?
Do we still win the league this year?
No, we don't know. But all we know is that Klopp says, I'm here for 3 more years, but we have to lose this game 3-0.
I'll keep Klopp for 3 years.
Ooh, controversial. Brian, what would you do?
I'm going to be equally controversial. I'll take that 3-0 loss right there to have Klopp for 3 more seasons. You know, I mean, because what could happen in 3 more seasons right there? I mean, the miracles we've seen so far. Yeah, I'll take Klopp for 3 more seasons.
I think I might take the win simply because I get to call my dad straight after it and laugh at him. He's not a very well man. He's very ill, so he can't even laugh back. It's great. I think I would take that. I think that's the only disappointing. No, it's not the only disappointing. It's one of many, but it's a huge disappointment for I think all of us that this team looks like it's coming into being like a very good team, and we're not going to have the architect of it in the hot seat, and we don't know who we're going to get. It's going to be Brian doing his Sean Dyche impression, probably, which is good for us. It means we all get free tickets at American Sky for TV, and we'll take them with good cheer. So just remains to say, number one, thank you to everybody who watched and commented. And thank you to Sir Z for stepping in tonight. It's a pleasure at any time. We have the fantasy show on. I want to say it's 9 o'clock proper time, which is Eastern time. None of those silly time zones that everybody else has, like Z and Cozzy. It's 9 o'clock. But the next 15 minutes, if you're into the fantasy football league stuff, we have a morning coffee show tomorrow. We will have a pre and post match for the Liverpool City game. That should be a bundle of nerves at the pre-match, and then let's hope we're all drunk in the post-match. And then make sure you like and subscribe, because if you don't like and subscribe, you won't get all the good content that we have, especially a Patreon, which has been set up. And as Bickler always says,
subscribe, smash that like button.
But as we like to say on Thursday, tap it gently. We have bad computers. It's just not good for the wallet, if anything else. And then follow us on the YouTube, follow us on the Instagram, follow us on the Facebook, and whatever Twitter is calling itself this week. I have no idea what it is. X, formerly known as Twitter, is just such the worst branding that anybody has ever come up with for buying over a company and taking them over. So whatever it is, MySpace, Bebo, Hotmail Messenger, like us and get all the controversial comments and the news, and then make sure that you're on a Discord channel, because that's where the real madness happens. Especially if me, Cozzy, and Suzie are winding everybody up about it. But just wait to say, enjoy your weekend. Have a good one. Thank you, Suzie. Thank you to Brian. Let's hope everybody feels better, and let's hope we all have a fantastic weekend this weekend. And I don't have to work, so I get to watch the game. Here's some trap music. If you're a fancy person like I am, good luck.